Hey y'all, what's up? This is Gloria, Miss G. I need to be fixing myself before. I apologize, y'all. I apologize and I apologize for being tardy to the party. I just saw some really crazy news. So I want everyone please to take a moment and lift one of my um, hometown classmates up in prayer. His name is Bernard McCoy. His son is missing. We always see it on our timeline, but when it hits home and is real to us, so please lift him up in prayer. Him and his wife Jackie. I just can't imagine. It's on the news as we speak in Atlanta. So when I was about to get on, I saw, hey, Kaden, welcome. Yeah, when I got on, I was getting on, it was on my thread. So I apologize for that. But please lift him up in prayer. Take a moment and lift that family up in prayer. You know, it's nightmare, your babies, everything like that. So lift Reverend Bernard McCoy up in prayer. Nicest guy ever. His wife is wonderful people. Seen his kids grow. So that's why I'm a little bit tardy, but I want to. Hey, Sam. Welcome on YouTube and welcome on Facebook Alive. Welcome to the live of glampluxetravels, or everyone. I like to know people personally. I am Gloria Miss G. I am an avid traveler. I'm a solo traveler, 50 plus and fabulous traveler. And after 25 years of being home, being housewife and mommy, I decided on my 50th birthday to finally travel. And things fell through, and I had to decide, was I going to stay or go? And that was like a ring a ding ding bell for me. That through the years, I gave, and then it was a special birthday to me, and everyone was like, oh, okay. So I said, I'm starting to do for me. Hey, Sam. Sam is out of Brazil, right? Were you from Brazil? It's so awesome that we have on the YouTube. I'm telling you, I have people checking in from all over global. No, US. Okay, I thought you were from Brazil. I thought you said Brazil or Mexico. I thought you said. Where in the US, Sam? We're in the US. But anyway, I want to welcome y'all and welcome you to the live, the nightly live, Monday through Friday at 9. And we started this back in October just on curiosity of finding out about more countries than Nigeria and South Africa um, and Kenya and Ghana. So we decided to talk about. I started to go through. I said, "Hey, Miss Ernestine, I need to. I'm going to talk to you. I have some great info for you." Yeah, we just started. I wanted to answer questions because people would ask me different questions about my travel. Is it safe? Or, all these different things. And I just was repeating. Okay, gotcha. Um, so yeah, so people were questioning me, and offline. So I said, you know what? Let's start dispelling the myths, because I would get so many people asking me about the safety. Oh, Gloria, I saw that you was over there. I was worried about you. And I said back to them, guess what? When I was over there, I was worried about you. I was worried about you in the United States. When I was over in Africa, I was worried about you, child. So we were doing the same thing, worried about each other's safety, right? But the records show, yes, I needed to be more worried about you than you were me, because I was chilling on the back of a boda or in the water, right? So, but anyway, but you got to see it to believe it, right? So, I said, well, let's just go down. It's 54 countries in the continent of Africa. People still want to think that Africa is a country. It's not. One of its countries, Kenya, can fit the state of Texas in it almost 3 times. And that's just one out of the 54 countries. So Africa is massive. And a lot of parts of Africa are untouched, untapped. All right. And the mainland, and we'll get into that a little bit later, is full of the resources, and basically is a big piece of and diamonds and gold and all the other natural resources, right? So uh, Africa is the motherland, and it's not a term. It is designated as the motherland because it's the origination of everything. It has all of, you know how mothers have the nurturing and just have the whole body. You eat from, you drink and you eat from the mother. That is Africa's. You can look it up. Go into AI, to Chat GBT, and see why Africa is the motherland. And it is given. That's not like oh, that's a cute term. That is a 10 toes down term for the continent of Africa. And it rightly so, because you have so many resources coming out of the continent of Africa. And I'm blessed that in my lifetime I have experienced the ignorance, and then now growing out of the ignorance of what was shared with us when I was little, 50 so years ago, to now, to really connect and understand, and almost basically really and truly the diaspora is experiencing a full circle moment. I hope that people realize that, and the folks that jump on, especially with the group on Facebook, uh, they understand and really want to be part of that repatriation to back to the continent of Africa. So we first started with just, visiting every single country and finding the beauty, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatsoever, and all of the different things that we've never heard of. And a lot of the countries we never heard of. And now that we're going back through it a second time, we are, now that we're going back through it a second time, and after the United States elections on November 4th, on November 5th, the Google rate of searches to plan to move out of the United States rose over 1,600%. The very next day. That's just the next day. I don't know how long that trend lasted at those rates, but the very next day. Searches for moving out of the United States jumped over 1,600%. So, uh, there's some concerns, serious concerns. And it's not just with African Americans. African Americans has, we're definitely at and past the point of, we're tired of being sick and tired, but so are many of other people, just for what is going, what the education, the safety, all of that. People, I'm running into more and more folks that, are in the same struggle bus that Black Americans, we used to struggling. We're used to figuring it out. But now it is, seeping into places, into demographics that just had no clue that they would experience, be on the same struggle bus as we. I talked to many, white folks whatsoever that complain about, they struggling. It was one young guy that I spoke to, ironically, last week. He and I were just talking. I forgot what we were talking about. And he was saying that him and his wife, they're 39, and they would like to buy a house. And they said that they're in a crunch dilemma because they want to have a baby, but don't want to have a baby because they can't afford to buy a house, and they don't want to raise their child in like apartment living. I get it. So that's kind of crazy if you really think about it, that they got to decide if they want to buy a house or have a baby. That's pretty deep. So it's not just affecting what's going on here and how, it's not just affecting us. It's affecting most people. And the other folks are talking about it too. And we could definitely empathize, but it's like, okay, well, join the club. We've been experiencing this forever. Now it's important because you are experiencing it. But, we've been saying that it's been crazy way before this when you had the benefit. But now the playing field is starting to get very level. And then with all of this AI, and just the humanistic thing, elements are being taken out, it is definitely separating the men from the mice. And now people that were able to kind of slide based on who they were and who they were connected with, it's not there anymore. So it's going to be interesting over the next decade, to see what will be going on here in this United States, because the Blaxodus is real. Y'all can sleep on it if y'all want to. The Blaxodus is real. And if I were the powers that be, I would be so concerned, because people of color and people of color and African Americans drive this GDP. African Americans is the number one consumer in this United States. Over $1 trillion in spending. We're the most. And they're losing that base. So if you lost at least, say, 20% of, the African Americans divested, and not only left on a more permanent basis, but remember, they taking their money too. They taking their money. So there's no money coming in. When is somebody going to get that part? When they gonna get that part? When they see that all of a sudden stuff is tanking, and it's scary. It's gonna be very, very, I just see the implosion, and it's nothing that can really save you now, because the hand that feeds you, that you were biting, is now pulling out, and pulling out in the boatloads. If people have seen just the Ghana tours, people are, has people seen like Daddy December? And that's not just in Ghana, Nigeria, in Nairobi, just all over South Africa, in droves. I would be very afraid. I'd be very afraid. But anyway, tonight we are going to be talking about um, Cape Verde. All right. So Cape Verde is very interesting. Cape Verde is very, very interesting. Cape Verde is a um oh, and please like and share. Mr. Sam, please, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Whoever is on the live on YouTube, please help the sister on the struggle bus of the YouTube. Y'all know how it go. I appreciate it. Let me get to 1,000 likes by Easter, please. I mean 1,000 subscribers by Easter. I'm coming on here every day. I'm working hard for y'all, getting all this information. Please hit the like and share button. It costs you nothing. I do appreciate you so much. And so we can get this word out, because sharing is caring. And you don't want people asking you the same questions they were asking me. So let them see the lives. The lives on Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely check that out. Check me out. We are going to have a special guest, just to give you a heads up. We're going to have a special guest on Friday, and she is also a traveler. She has traveled and lived over the last 7 years. She left the United States 7 years ago. She says she's been back once and she's not interested in coming back. And she's older. Miss Ernestine. She's older, and she's 69, and she's loving, uh, being away, doing her thing. She is she's in Asia, in a part of Asia now, but she's loving it. And she's going to come on, and she's going to talk about her travels as an expat, her experience, good, bad, and ugly, being a expat, leaving the United States, where her mental state is compared to what it was before she left, here, where it is now, and how she's living her life and planning to live her life forward, and just giving y'all some tips. So I want y'all to definitely jump on Friday. This is on Fridays, and I may start doing my Fridays as like not too much with the country. We could do a mix of the country, but different concerns or questions that may have been DM'd to me and asked, and we can discuss it. So prepare to come on. Yes. Prepare to come on and be interactive on Friday at 9 p.m. It's going to be pretty, pretty cool. So Cape Verde is a an island. Okay, it is an island nation of in the continent of Africa. So Al Hassan, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. We welcome you to the Glow Tribe. That's what I'm calling y'all, the Glow Tribe. Y'all glowing, the Glow Tribe. I thank y'all. So yes, has anyone heard of Cape Verde before tonight? Or is anyone Oh, very good. Yeah. So you're just waking up. Are you just waking up because we are just feeling a type of way? We are having FOMO because we have seen what went on in Ghana a couple weeks ago with Daddy December. You know, everyone is feeling a type of way and trying to get over there. It's crazy. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. I may have, since you're up, I'm going to contact you. Maybe you can come on and talk about Ghana when we get to the G's, okay? Living and all of that. So look out for my DM, okay? So anyway, so Cape Verde is very interesting, right? And we've talked about this before. My Glow tribe already knows, right? We've talked about um oh yes, has anyone heard of Cape Verde before tonight? This is going to be a two-part question. Okay, perfect. Because you're in the okay, cool. Now, um, did people know that Africa had islands that wasn't connected to the mainland that we see? They have several countries, not just islands. A lot of the islands have their own set of country, islands with it. But did they know? Do y'all know that Africa has several countries that are not connected to the mainland? And Cape Verde is one of them. So, so let me give you some history on Cape Verde. Now, Cape Verde, like many of the other island countries, um, they don't have the history like the mainland. Okay, they don't have the resources like the mainland. So I guess back in the day, like BC or whatever, they would just Tara, hi Tara, welcome. Um, they were pieces of land sitting in the ocean adjacent to Africa, right? But was part of the African continent. So with Cape Verde, and we will, talk about the other countries that are pretty much in the same predicament, right? So Cape Verde sounds gorgeous, whatever. So Cape Verde, listen to me closely. Cape Verde was sitting it minding his African business, right? So here come the Portuguese riding around the ocean, whatever. So they roll up on Cape Verde. Now, Cape Verde, I gotta say, now they can supposedly say that they discovered it, but it was still part of Africa. It was no people on the island. So they said, ooh, this is fly. Let's go back to the mainland and get us some slaves and have the slaves come over and build us a place that we can chill and call our own for free because they found the island. They found the country. Timmy, girl, I love it every time I think about your about what you said was it's someone that just came back from from Ghana that's in the chat, and she had some great things to say. They had a great time, so we'll talk. But anyway, so Cape Verde was there minding its own business, okay, by itself. Hey, Bridget. Um, and the Portuguese rolled up and said, "Ooh, we like this. We want to develop this. We want to make it our own." So what is part of Africa? No, we want it for ourselves. So that's what they did because it was uninhabited. Cape Verde, the island, and then it has 10 archipelagos. It has 10 smaller islands with that comes with Cape Verde. Um, and it's only like three major ones. It's like Santiago, whatever, and it was named. If you hear the names are very European. The names are very Spanish. The names are very Portuguese. Okay, so the Portuguese went over and claimed basically the country of that land. Okay, and they went back. In my research, they don't come out and say it, but all of a sudden, like the people in Cape Verde is very, they look like, they're very mixed, beautiful, like almost they're like Brazilian looking, Portuguese. So what they did when the Portuguese ran up on Cape Verde, they went over back over because this was about 1400, about four, no, I lie. It was established from back 1462. As time went on, 1951, like in the early 1900s. Yeah, in the early 1900s. No. It was earlier than that. So from 1462, the Portuguese found the island. They settled on it, right? And then as time went on, they went over to the mainland because it's a connection that they really don't get too deep in. But Guinea-Bissau, they went over to Guinea and uh, Cape Verde is in West Africa. I didn't tell y'all like the different geographical. So Cape Verde is an island nation in West Africa. It's only about 600,000 people, so it's very small. It's very boutique. It is deliberate because they found this island. The Europeans in Portugal found this island and they wanted to make it their own, and they have. Okay, they have. So they went over and um, Cape Verde was a main like drop off and drop on of the slave trade. So when I read and research a lot of this stuff, I kind of like read through the lines. So they were saying how it was a major port for slave trade, but port to where? So they were just going back and forth to the mainland to get slaves to work on the island, to put the island together. So, and it looks like those slaves were coming from Guinea-Bissau, right? So Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde. So the two powers that be, came together, and at one time they did, but this was later on. They were like not two nations, but they shared the same flag and all of that. So the Cape, they would go over and get the slaves, bring them over, and that's how they became like this mixed. They call them mulattoes, and the people are very, very mixed. So when you go over there, so let me see. So yeah, 1462, and then you know, fast forward, slavery was abolished in 1876, um, but it was still an African Portuguese relationship. It was still, you know, you know it's still some slavery going on. It's slavery going on over there today, to be for real. And in a lot of countries, they pay them, but so um, there was fast forward. There was right around 1956. There was a revolutionariist, right? His name was, I tear these names up. And I try so hard and I repeat the name over and over. And I still, when I get with y'all, I still tear it up. So I apologize. Akamar, no, Omakar Gabro. I know I tore it up. But what he did, he was almost like their Harriet Tubman, and did an underground movement. Even though they were supposedly free and whatsoever, they still was living under terrible conditions under the Portuguese. The Portuguese Europeans. And the Portuguese in 1961, right? Um, Made everyone there like Portuguese. It was a Portuguese um, country, but it's still an African country. But Portuguese took over and made everyone Portuguese, not African. They Portuguese. Are y'all confused yet? They're not African. They Portuguese, because Portuguese said no, 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 no. This is Portuguese, even though this African. Just that's just a little fun fact for y'all. Okay. And so everybody was Portuguese, but there was a revolutionary. His and I had said his name, and he did like an underground type of thing to build up a movement, and it was the PAICV, and it was a movement for the people from Guinea, Bissau, and Cape Verde. I guess the blacks, the slaves, to rise against the Europeans to have, yes, to have, you know, better living conditions and everything like that. So he did a revolution, and that was 1956. And they did finally get there. They did a coup. So in Portugal, Portugal had a coup, and then that's when everything started to collapse. Unfortunately, he did a lot of the work, but they didn't like it. And unfortunately, he was assassinated in 1973. But he was the half brother of the first president after the country was given their independence in 1975. So he did a lot. You wouldn't, of course, wouldn't hear much about it. But that's a little history. Let me see. It was a stop on the slave trade, and that's all I kind of heard when I put in two and two and four together. It was a stop on the slave trade because they went to the to the mainland and got people to bring them over, because the Portuguese was on the land, but they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do with the land, so they was just there. And um, Cape Verde, even though it sounds and it's a pretty place, but they have made it that way. Like they have manufactured it from what my research has shown, because Cape Verde, so I'm going to give you the handbags. I give Cape Verde two African handbags. Two. And I'm going to tell you why. What time is it? 9:38. I'm going to tell you why. Because it is very manufactured. Okay. The country is very manufactured. They do want, one thing they do have is drop dead beautiful beaches, but that's pretty much it. And no, beaches, beautiful beaches, and living there is very organized, but you would never ever think that you are in Africa. You would think that you're in Europe. They have manufactured it to be a small Europe in Africa, right? So the workers are probably black, and the people, the people that live there are, European. And they they do have people. They don't call them tribes because Cape Verde claims that they have no tribes, but they brought folks over from Guinea-Bissau, but they don't have no tribes. But they got the Fulanis, they got the Falantes, and they got the Mayako. They tribes, but they claim that there's no tribes in Cape Verde because the basis of Cape Verde and the birth of Cape Verde was under European rule the whole time because it supposedly was no Africans. There was no Africans there or no tribes there, and they didn't bother anybody. They just saw these islands and just took over the islands. Okay. Um, the next reason why I give it to handbags. Now it's some pluses, right? But it's basically just like you're living in the United States or you're living in um, in Europe. Um, it struggles with droughts. Okay, they've had a lot of famines back in the day. They have very limited rainfall. They have a tremendous lack of natural resources and lots of erosion. So everything has been man-made to make this this country the way it is and the way it looks. Let me tell you how they did it. A little tea, right? So the tea is, even though they have come against all of these struggles, right? Um, no resources like what the mainland has. They are they are one of the number one. Cape Verde. Listen to this. Interesting. What what's his name say? Um, Arsenio Hall. Things that make you say mm. All right. Cape Verde gets the most funding of aid in the world. Where their aid is coming from to expand their ports and airports and resources, they get their funding from the European Union and the World Bank. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. That's how they're able, with no resources on an island. And if y'all have peeked in and looked at Cape Verde, it's very pretty, it's very clean, it's very organized. I mean, it's very, very, very nice. But guess what? They are getting bankrolled from the European Union. They're getting bankrolled to run this country from Portugal. They're getting bankrolled from the World Bank. So the country isn't that big. So they're able to afford, and that country gets the most funding out of all of the African countries in the world. So Cape Verde gets the most funding in the world of all the 54 African countries. Isn't that interesting? And the money coming from who this? Hey, Courtney, coming from the World Bank and the European Union. So you see who running that, right? Okay. Let me see, because I be running my mouth and talking. Okay. So, yes, the concerns are, again, like I said, droughts, limited resources, limited rainfall. Also, they import all their fuel. In the mainland, they're sitting on oil, they're sitting on gas. They have so much, they just need some money to mine it. And but Cape Verde has nothing. They import over 90% of their food, or of their food. 90% is imported. So you're going to pay more money, right? And the only food that's like indigenous to Cape Verde: oranges, bananas, tamarinds. And corn is the staple food there, but you can grow corn anywhere. So I guess that's what they started to do. So corn is the staple food. That was the only thing that I guess they were able to grow. So that's what they grow. And then it was oranges and bananas and tamarinds. I'm not sure if it's at an abundance like corn, but you can go corn anywhere. Hey, Miss Q. So, what else? Um, they also, since their fuel is imported, they don't have that resource. They use firewood, honey, basics. They use firewood for their energy, but that poses an additional threat to the environment with burning firewood. Now they're trying to, and it's just interesting to me that they're trying to find other ways, but since it's a difference, I just see that in the mainland and the people are able to resource what they have and do. But when the other folks have it, they don't know what to do. So they have to come and get us. It's just very interesting because they have it, but they don't know how to do it. If you get what I mean. If you y'all picking up what I put now right now. So um so that's very, very interesting. Now, the people that are there, as I said, are the mixed folks, but then there's Portuguese, Italians, French people, and they have a lot of Jews there too. They have serifric Jews. All I know is Hasidic. Maybe they meant Hasidic. I'm not sure. I've never heard of that type of Jew. But they've been there since the 15th, 16th century. And more came over because they were like almost, I don't want to say deported, but they were, I forgot, I forgot the word that they used in the Inquisitions. So something went down, and the Jews had to run over to Cape Verde. So there is a population of like, they look like Hasidic Jews, but I guess it's like a subset. And in the early 1900s, more Jews came over from Morocco. So it's a small subset of like a Hasidic type of Jew. Yeah, Hasidic. Yeah, Jews that's there. Um, but the most of the people are Roman Catholic. They're Roman Catholic. Um, what else? Um, they again, um, Netherlands, 1940. Yeah, 1940. Oh, right. So and I apologize. The Anybody have any questions? So it says most of the countries in Africa are part of, yes, yeah, but Cape Verde is getting the most funding. They have got the most funding out of all of the African countries. So you can be part of or get some money from the World Bank, but how much are you getting? If this small little island country is getting more money than Nigeria, getting more money than Kenya, getting more money than South Africa, isn't that interesting? That's real interesting. Anyone on YouTube? Hey, YouTube, Sam, you still there? So anyway, so that's very interesting. So they're trying to desperately um, get different things in. So, but they're only able to do like sewing, like basic stuff, because they don't have any natural resources. So they even have like fish processing. So that's like an industry that they're doing there. Fish processing, pharmaceuticals. So talking about, manufactured type of place. So I guess it works for people. I'm trying to be as biased unbiased as possible, but I'll tell y'all the real deal. But this is from my perspective. I want y'all to do y'all, y'all research. The place I think would be pretty to visit, but to live there, it's compared to the other places is a bit expensive. They do note it as a good retiree place, um, but the cost of living, and I'm bouncing around. There's some other information I want to give you, but I'm bouncing around since we're talking about the cost of living. So if y'all have been on the live, y'all know that the cost of living was rolling about what, 500, 800 for like a single person the most, and then from a family of four, all of it was like 1,300 or less. So here in Cape Verde, because everything has to be imported, you do have beach. Most of their industry is tourism, right? Um, but the cost of living for expats, uh, for a single person, is about 1,300 a month for one person. Cost of living. For a family of four is about $2,700 a month. Cape Verde is a good place for relocation. It's up to everyone. I'm giving you the cost of living and what is there or not. It's up to you. It has a beautiful beach and it's well organized. So, but it's very European. It's a European country. It's a European place in Africa. It's an African country, but it's Europe in Africa. The best way I can explain it. So it has, you see little cultural African differences, but moving around, you would think that you are in Europe because that's how it was planned, even though it's an African country. There's no cultural anything there. It's all Europe. Portuguese, and the main and only, other than the Creole, the Cape Verde Creole, it is straight Portuguese. They don't speak English. It's straight Portuguese, straight Portuguese. So yes, so cost of living for a family of four is $2,700. If you want a studio apartment for one person, uh, in like a average, average neighborhood or whatever, it's about 375, $400 a month for a studio apartment. Uh, in the nice area, it's about 750. If you want a 3-bedroom flat in the regular area, it's about 750 starting, and in the nicer area, it's about 900. So it's not cheap to live at all. And this is plus. This is not inclusive of the cost of living. So it's a bit expensive, but it's because every single thing has to be bought in. Every single thing has to be bought in. Um, how what but they do have benefits because I guess they get the funding and everything like that. The residents that live there, they do have programs and almost to the part of like being socialists or whatsoever. Hey, Miss Sharon, welcome. Um, they do have free healthcare. They do have free education. So that is a plus. Um, for for the the people that are there, not the expats, but they do have, but they're getting bankrolled, so they can afford to do that. Okay, they have European money that backs that country. So the people that are there, they do have apartment situations that they pay as low as $10-20 a month. I don't know what the quality is, but based on my research, everything is very clean, very organized. The people are very friendly. So what I saw in my research and what the commentary was that when you go, you forget you're in Africa until you interact with a lot of the brown people. That's where you see the Africa in it because they're very warm, they're very friendly. Um, uh, that's where you see that yes, this yeah, they're connected to Africa. It's their vibe is really really cool. Let me see what else. They even have electric cars over there. It's very electric cars, clean streets. They have the highest literacy rate in the continent. The country is sitting in the middle of the water like that, but it is a plan. It's almost like a planned community. Back in the day, faith, in today's time, it's basically a planned community. What else? Da-da-da-da-da. So you want to go and visit? I would definitely, it's probably very, very pretty to visit. Has gorgeous, beautiful beaches. It has great terrains for hikers. All right. It has beautiful canyons and valleys. What else? They have two sections of the country. It's windward and leeward. And on the windward side, that's where you see the most beautiful beaches. And, it's pretty packed during high season. And they have a lot of windsurfing if you're into that, windsurfing and diving and snorkeling and all like scuba diving, those type of water sports there. The water is just drop dead, but the water all over Africa, even on the Atlantic Ocean side, is drop dead gorgeous. So you definitely will enjoy there. Um, and they have something that's really, really interesting that I haven't heard anywhere except like in Senegal when they have that pink lake. But they have the Patra Lumi crater because they do have volcanic volcanoes um, that have erupted whatsoever. Um, but it's called the Patra Lumi crater, and it was a volcano. Why can't I say volcano? Volcano that erupted, and it's like it's not it's not active anymore, but people go there to swim, and the water is really really warm all the time. Isn't that crazy? Never heard of that before. And from its source, it has like tons of minerals. The place has more minerals in it than the Dead Sea. So people go there for that aspect, and you can literally float in the water. You won't. drop. You just float. It's almost like a what's the name of it? Not a sauna, a hot tub. Hot tub. Crazy. That was really really crazy, and I would love to experience that. Um, Anybody have any questions? Because we got like a minute left. Did I cover everything? Incomes. Okay, so to pay for all of this, the incomes, and calling out again to these teachers. I'm going to do a video on teachers. I'm going to link it on YouTube about calling all teachers. Okay, that's that's over the education system and being abused in the education system. Other countries are calling for you. Okay, so the incomes here, like we have talked about in the past lives, to one for Cape Verde is tourism and hospitality. All right, is an income. Remote work that a lot of expats do in IT, consulting, digital marketing, being a content creator, whatsoever, having remote work. Then real estate and property management, uh, because since it's such a hot tourist destination, you're probably able to like Airbnb and all of that, and it's probably not so strict to purchase and buy. They probably have developments there that you can buy an Airbnb. So, real estate and property management, NGOs, okay, working with nonprofits and everything. And then here we go, teaching English. Because although some of these countries are, speak that native tongue, they also understand that on the higher education, you will have to know how to speak English for your global communication. So the international schools, English is a required language that they speak, because they know after they get outside of wherever they are, they will have to speak English to do business. So English teachers, period. You can go and in some places you will get incentive, housing, everything, and to teach in the schools. So it's something to think about. You don't have to pay how much? $800, okay, a month rent, and you get perks being a teacher. So teachers, and then being a retiree. So a retiree with money, okay, at $2,700 or $1,300, okay, a month, and or start a business. Um, but that is Cape Verde. Does anyone else have any question? What's going on YouTube? Y'all quiet. Give me a thumbs up if y'all are awake over in YouTube. And we have done the hour of power. I'm loving it. Oh, another couple more great things before we end. It is, let me give you some tea on this a little. I'm being messy. I'm being real messy. But first, let me start off a little positive, right? So they have over 100 species of birds. I forgot to talk about that earlier. And also, their music is called Petuco, okay? And it's a music led by women, whatever. So, what I also forgot to add, going back to um, just the culture and it being African or not, they are part of a group. They are part of a coalition that is supposed to have free movement within the West African countries that if you're from Ghana, you can travel. Like they have an agreement with the West African countries, and it's called free movement of goods and people. So it was this young man that I follow, and he traveled there, and he said it was okay until he was going through customs or whatever, and they demanded all of this documentation from him. They required that he had a return ticket back to wherever he was coming from, and he wasn't going back to Dakar. He was going to like somewhere else. He was, hopping different places, and they did not want to give him entry, and he had to like put a security deposit of €1,000. And what else did? And he said, because he said, like other people was no problem, but he said that what was told to him, that in Cape Verde, when other West African countries come, like they don't want to see no Nigerians, they don't want to see no Senegalese, and they will quickly deport those people back. So he said, wait a minute, I thought all the African countries were working together under this coalition of free movements of goods and people. So here we go. Like you are African country in West Africa, but you don't want no West Africans coming to your country. Just to end on that note. Very interesting. Very interesting, right? So I forgot to add that little bit of tea. That was some hot tea right there. But I want to thank y'all. Let me see. Hey, butterfly love. I want to thank you. Hey, Northeast Ohio. Thank you. Thank you, butterfly love, for coming on tomorrow. Thank you for being part of the Hour of Power. I hope that y'all have shared this information. Y'all liked it. Folks on Facebook, please go on 50 Shades of Glow and give your sis some love for doing all this hard work after I done worked my 50-11 jobs during the day. Let me see. Tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow, oh, child. Yes, child. We are doing Côte d'Ivoire. Wait a minute. Was today the 14th, right? Yes. So tomorrow we are doing Côte d'Ivoire. Why is it trying to read? I'm waiting for Facebook. Yes, sorry about it. We are doing Côte d'Ivoire. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Côte d'Ivoire. So we will have our friend, Miss Melissa, come back and talk about Côte d'Ivoire, not Ivory Coast. The colonizers named that. My sir, we got to have you on to talk about your country. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna call you at work tomorrow. I'm gonna call you at work tomorrow. I'm gonna call you to see if you can come and talk about your country. But thank you so much for coming on. So tomorrow is Côte d'Ivoire, and we're going to have our special guest come back on, Miss Melissa. She is Bahamian. I believe she's Bahamian. I hope I don't get that wrong. But her husband is from Côte d'Ivoire. They've been married over 30-something years. She has property that they are building. They're in the process of building their retirement home. And she's on her grind. She's on her grind for them to, she's on her grind for them to retire in Côte d'Ivoire. So she is full of information. So she will be on tomorrow. And then on Friday, like I said, we will have a young lady that has traveled. She's older. So for the folks that's older out there, because I've been getting a lot of feedback from some older people saying, oh, well, my family says I'm too old, or, I shouldn't go. How about healthcare? How about this? And, I say, live your life. Live your life, live it, fun, live it. If you want to do it, go do it. It's not, the boogeyman is not in Africa. Listen, it's not in Africa. It's in Walmart down the street from you. But I want to thank y'all so much. I want y'all to have a great evening. Thank y'all for spending the hour with me, the hour of power with me. Thank you for let's talk about and live in Africa. And let's do this, y'all. Let's start playing chess instead of checkers. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Africa Awaits. Travel and Repatriation, and on YouTube. Please subscribe and like on YouTube at 50 Shades of Glow. Y'all take care. Bye.